On today's video, we are going to talk about how you can easily upgrade your cabinets to soft close cabinet doors and even a tilt tray underneath the sink. Now, if you're like me, I have a builder grade home, but the builder grade homes never have a tilt tray or a drawer underneath the vanity sink. Now, there is an easy way to do this, so come along, let me show you how to do this today on the video. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do is, just so I don't look like a total slob, just to clean out everything underneath both these cabinets. After I've done that, I go ahead and remove the doors on the bottom of the vanities just to be able to access things a little bit more easily. Now, if you're a smart guy like me, you don't need instructions. But actually, come to think about it, probably a good idea to read the instructions. Just make sure you do everything correctly. So grab your instructions, open them up, make sure you know what you're doing, and let's get started on this. The first step is pretty easy. Just get yourself a number 2 pencil, slide under that cabinet, and you're marking the back of this faux drawer front. It's very important to make sure that you annotate and mark both a left and a right side for the cabinet. This left and right side is going to be actually as you see it. If you pretend you're inside the cabinet looking out, the left side is going to be the left, the right side is going to be the right. Now, marking here, I'm actually just showing you these little brad nails that hold the faux drawer front end. Taking a mallet, just gently tap right where those nail holes are to remove that drawer front. A lot of these drawer fronts are actually held on with little plastic clips that are stapled into the face frame. You can also remove those with a screwdriver or gently tap them out like I'm doing here. Now, my poor dog got caught in the crossfire as I was removing this. So sorry, Kimber. But make sure that you just remove any toddlers, dogs, pets, or animals, or otherwise they may never forgive you. If you have a cabinet setup that doesn't have brad nails, you can just skip the step entirely. You don't need to do anything on it. But for me, I do because I have these brad nails sticking out. So I just take a pair of vice grip pliers, squeeze them tight, and then slowly roll out that brad nail on the front of the face frame. Now, it works pretty well, but it's not the most efficient method because, as you'll see here shortly, I actually can break off those brad nail heads. So whether you break it off or you cut off the end of the brad nail, an easy way to get rid of this is actually just cut them down, and then you're going to use this little nail punch here. And you can use one of these little fancy spring-loaded ones you can get on Amazon, or you could use one that's actually just the caveman type, right, where you take a hammer, you take the hole punch, and you just knock it through. You'll notice on these other nails, I'm actually using a putty knife as a backstop between the vice grip pliers and between the face frame. Now, this is stain grade maple, so it's relatively hard, and I'm not super concerned about denting it because you're never going to see the little holes anyway. But again, I'm just going over the top here because I can. It's my house, okay? Don't judge me. Now, for these nail holes, all I did to fill these up was just use a little bit of nail hole filler, scrape it in there with a putty knife, and fill it in. And then following the instructions, shockingly again, following the instructions on the back of that nail putty, just wiping off the excess and letting it dry before coming back and working with this. Now, these are the hinges that are going to be on the inside of the cabinet. Now, remember, if you're sitting on the inside of the cabinet, the left is the inside left, the right is the inside right. And you can actually use the hinge itself where these little holes are as the template where you're going to go ahead and mark things. A lot of these sets do have a piece of paper you can use as a template mark. I just use the actual hinge itself. So taking a pencil again on the inside of the face frame where that drawer will be seated, I went ahead and just marked with the pencil where that's going to go. Now, these are the screws that I used or will use to sink in those hinges. And taking some blue tape, I just marked the depth for the stop for my drill bit to go ahead and drill those holes that I just marked. Next, I took the hinges and the part that's going to touch the little cabinet front, the drawer front, I went ahead and I marked the right and left side like I should have done the first time, and then just used that portion from the hinge as a template to mark everything before proceeding to go ahead and drill things. Now, again, you're going to see here in a second where I messed this up, and it's a learning experience for all of us. So enjoy at my expense. At first, I had elected to, wow, fancy word, elected. At first, I had chosen to put under each sink 2 of these small little tilt trays. Now, I was really unimpressed by their storage space, so I ended up changing them out later. Now, the important thing that you can take away from this here is I was measuring from the edge of the tilt tray just in that 1 inch to where the screw is going to need to go that will hold that whole thing in place. Now, marking it here with the tape measure, probably the easiest way to do it, but I utilize a speed square as well, just to make sure that I can hone up exactly where I was going to use my drill bit to just drill a little pilot hole before I sent a screw through the whole thing. Now, it's important to make sure that you have the measurement between the two little screw holes in that plastic tray, which you'll see here in a minute. But again, accuracy is always a plus, so I would definitely recommend that you use a speed square so that you can make sure that you're accurate on this drill that you're about to make. Now, here is where I realized my mistake. Now, remember how I said to mark left and the right side? Well, you can see there's a thicker and a thinner part of this drawer front, and I stupidly drilled it upside down. But hey, just flip it around. Let's just fix that problem. So after fixing that, boom, boom. See, not too hard, guys. Just no crying in DIY. You can't do that. Now, this is where I, again, marked off of that first measurement, that little first inside edge, and then drilled the spots where those screws are going to grow. Quickly then just sent in those screws to the back of the frame and went ahead and then screwed in those hinges as well. This will make your install a little bit easier. I actually prefer to do it this way, but you can put in the hinges first and then put on the drawer front, completely up to you. Then I went ahead and grabbed my impact driver with a Phillips head on it and sent these 1/2-inch screws into the face frame. You don't have to use an impact driver. I just prefer to. It's a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. I feel a lot more efficient with it, but you can use just a normal drill as well. Then I grabbed a small, and you see it there, just a small little Phillips head screwdriver, and used that to loosen and tighten the screws that I'd already sent into the back of that face of the cabinet drawer. As I tightened them or loosened them, that allowed me then to slide in those little drawer components into the front and then tilt it closed. Okay, now for the fun part. So, if you have never installed soft close hinges on your home, you're going to be kicking yourself once you watch this video because it is super easy to do. Now, for most production builders, the hinge size that you use is like a 1/2 inch or 1.5 inches. But to be sure, what you can do is use a pencil, mark the back edge of that cabinet door like I did just a minute ago, and then measure off of that line to the inside edge of the face frame to figure out what type of hinge that you need. Now, for the soft close hinges, these are Euro style hinges. You can look up all about why they're called Euro style hinges, but they're made popular after World War II. Either way, these kits are like $50 to $30 on Amazon, depending on how nice you want to get. Now, literally all you do is you remove the screws from the old hinges that are non-soft close and install the new ones. It's literally as simple as that. With the easy part done, now comes the little bit harder part. So it's really not that difficult. The doors are misaligned since I put on those new hinges. The way you align them is pretty easy. These Euro style soft close hinges have a set screw that moves the door up and down along the face frame, one that moves the screw back and forth or in and outward from the face frame. And then the final screw will actually just auto adjust, or rather micro adjust, that top or bottom hinge. Now, I've realized that the far right door is misaligned with the other 3 vanity cabinet doors that you see going down this cabinet run. All right, pretty simple fix. So, what we're going to do next is not cry, not scream, but you can take your drill and actually, what I've noticed is that gap on the top is so substantial. I'm going to go ahead and use that top screw and move down that inside piece so it will reset the area where I need to re-drill the hole, and it will drop that drawer down just about 1/4 of an inch, which is about the difference in my reveal between those two doors. Then just sink the screw back in. Okay, that should address that issue. Now you'll see I can even further adjust it down just to make sure that it aligns. Okay, let's see how it worked. All right, okay. Okay, so it worked, they're aligned, but now the doors are knocking. Okay, different problem, similar solution. Now we're just going to use that far outside screw and just push the door frame up off the face. Okay, now that it's up off the face frame, there's a separate problem. That door, you can see, is warped. I've had these cabinets for about a year now. They've probably been exposed to some moisture, and it's causing the door to cup a little bit. That's not uncommon. Wood is a natural product. If it were 3D printed, maybe it wouldn't have these problems, but it's natural wood, so it does. How do we address this cupping? Okay, we just use another one of the screws. I'm going to pull the door closer to the face frame, and it's going to eliminate that cupping. Okay, I adjusted it. Looks like it didn't really address that. Now let's go and try the bottom one. Okay, I'm gonna do a similar thing. The top one is flush all the way in, or I've screwed it all the way into the face frame itself. And then the bottom one, I actually pushed it out as far as it could go. Now, boom, there you go. Okay, now it's fully aligned. Perfect, right? Oh, no. Okay, another problem. So again, this is all super common when you adjust these doors. You'll notice that there's slight variations where, okay, my edges meet up at the top, but not at the bottom. Okay, everything is even on one side, but not on the other. That's why these little micro adjustments are great. The best thing you can do is exactly what I'm doing right here, which is just make small adjustments, close it, open it again. Okay, that didn't work. Close it, open it again, and just adjust bit by bit. It does take a little bit of time to get this skill down, but once you do it, it's pretty easy. Well, hello there. All right, so I decided that these small, teeny tiny little drawer inserts that I had were absolutely sucky. So I got these larger ones. But in the larger ones, it's a lot better for me. Just kidding. It's actually probably better for my wife, who has a lot more toiletries to install than I do. But hey, this would be great even just for aftermarket whenever we sell the house in a few years. Now, you can get metal inserts instead of plastic inserts. I'm just a little bit cheaper right now, so I chose for the plastic inserts. Well, I hope you learned something from today's video. And if anything, I hope that you saw how easy it was. I went ahead and added soft close doors to my whole entire cabinets in my whole entire house. You can too. If you like this video, please subscribe, follow along, and thanks for watching.